The question is, are you ready?
What do you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you.
Throwdown Nation, we are live. It is a Wednesday night. We are rolling on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter /X, Facebook, and Twitch. It is episode 110 of the Throwdown with Matt, and today we are throwing down with Philadelphia-based pro wrestler, leader of the Creamy World Order, and head of the Intergender Bonanza, Mr. Stan Stylez. How you doing tonight, Stan?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Like I said before we went live, I've definitely been looking forward to this one. And for those of you that are watching this live, if you have questions or comments, just throw them in the chat, and we'll either handle them as we go or do a little Q&A at the end. So we'll go ahead and get started, Stan, with the first and the most obvious question, and that is, how long have you been wrestling?
Oh, boy. I've been wrestling over 15 years now.
You don't look old enough to have been wrestling that long.
Yeah, I know, but I am.
So who initially trained you?
Man, so I started training in 2009, and the very first person to ever show me anything was Joe Gacy. Like, he was the first person to ever even show me bump at all that stuff. And then I eventually trained up in North Jersey with Ace Pro Wrestling, and then Pinky Sanchez actually polished me up, and like I had my basics then, but he like really like fine-tuned me up.
Gotcha. Yeah. So training with Joe Gacy, was that at CZW or
No?
Or
This was before that. This was it was for a company that was never even took off for, I think it was called UCW, and it just never took off. But I met him, and it was a bunch of our friends. We were all training. We all wanted to be trained, and he was the first person to really show me anything. That was going back 2009, so many years ago.
Gotcha. So I love the CWO concept. So tell us a bit about that. How did that come to be, and what's the story with the Creamy World Order?
So what happened was, I can go for the long version or the short version.
Whatever.
So I had an ankle injury. I broke my ankle. I believe it was 2000. I'm gonna say probably was 2022. Yeah, I'm bad with dates. I broke my ankle, and I was out for at least 3 months. And I was planning on going heel. At this time, I was predominantly babyface. And I was like, because I was going to go into a feud with Marcus Mathers, who was the IGB champion at the time. And I was like, you know what? I really want to, go heel. We're throwing ideas around. I was thinking of ideas. And I was like, what if, like, I come back after this injury, I go heel. Like, I do, like, the unthinkable in this turn. And I was also I was always feuding with his father, Mark Angel, one of my best friends in pro wrestling. And I was like, what if, like, your dad, like, we join forces and, like, just we do, like, the unthinkable, like. And I was like, maybe I'll do something where it's like my goons versus IGB, all the bay faces, and we have this big feud. and it was just an idea, and I did it, and I turned on him. I believe he wrestled Billy Starks that show. Yes, he defended the title, defeated Billy Starks, and then I, said I'm going to be the next person to challenge you. Turned heel, beat him up, showed my ankle was fine the whole time. I was coming off the injury, but I was good for the show. But I planned it out, and then I remember people were like just going crazy, and what I did was I was talking to Mark Angel about this, and I was like, "Yo, what if like we call ourselves like I'm like maybe the Shake Weight World Order?" I'm like, "No, how about the Creamy World Order?" I went and the guy who was doing a lot of my like graphic work, he made this logo. He made the CWO logo, and when I turned on Marcus, I literally put that on my social media, the CWO, and people were just like shirts, and then people were just messaging me. I'm like, "Oh shit, did I just hit a gold mine?" And they were like, it was like Hogan turning. So I kind of started like thinking of like how Hollywood Hogan turned. And then I put the bow was on. I had a weight belt, and I was like, I'll do a little Hogan stuff. Why not? And it just started manifesting more. And it's the point where John Harder, who was my announcer, said, CWO, it's not like at first, yeah, we were just being clowns and kind of copying at the NWO and putting my own gimmick into
right.
something, which would work crazy. I was like, man, I could stack my gimmick on another gimmick. And then, but he told me something. He's like, it really manifests itself where you guys actually became stronger characters. You weren't parody characters of like, we took inspiration. I took inspiration from Hogan, Scott Hall, but we made it our own. Like I became like this character, Mark Angel and Abs of all the people in CWO. Abs has flourished with it. Journey Work 2 and Everest, they all pretty much like we all like got better with it. And who would have known? Just from a silly, most of my ideas in pro wrestling just came from one silly idea, and it just like blossomed. It bloomed.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've had Abs on here previously, and he was the one that actually initially turned me on to the whole CWO thing. And by virtue of that,
Yes.
But yeah, man, he was a fun conversation. I got a kick out of him.
Yeah. I brought Abs into CWO out of nowhere because we did a Royal Rumble, Intergender Rumble. And I was like, what if like, we do something where I put I was like, I have a very unique and different mind for pro wrestling. I was told by a lot of people. And I said, what if we were like, you're playing a game and you're just going through like the Rumble, and I throw in like bosses, and I threw in like Abs and Everest, and it introduced these members, and it just worked. And people were like, oh my God, who are these big guys that Stan has now on CWO? And it just worked perfectly.
Absolutely. So, how and when did you start the concept of the Intergender Bonanza? I just think that is a really cool idea. It's definitely something different, and I feel like it's actually in a way very empowering for the female competitors, to be in a situation where they have to wrestle the opposite gender. I just think that's really cool. So so tell me about that. How did that come about?
That's another long story. I'll sum that up. So I was wrestling out in West Virginia at this time. I was wrestling a lot around the West Virginia, Pittsburgh area. And the company, I was a champion of this company at CWA at this time back in 2000, I'm going to say 17. And my opponent like couldn't make it that night for some reason. And I was like, damn. And I was talking to the promoter, and I was my one friend, she was Raina Sky. I think she goes by Raina Blackmail. She didn't have an opponent either. So I was talking to her. I was like, yo, you're going to the show, right? She's like, yeah. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I think I'm just doing a promo. I'm like, nah, you're not going all the way up to West Virginia to just do a promo. I'm like, you're going to wrestle me. And she's like, what? Am I hanged up on her? And I told her, I'm like, yo, let me just wrestle Desi. I'm sorry, her real name. Whoops.
Yeah.
And the guy was a little like skeptical at first, the promoter. And I was like, no, listen, it's going to be awesome. Just trust me. It's going to be awesome. And I said, we all, I do it for a long time. Like we always wanted to have a match. I'm like, hey, let's do this. Let's have some fun. We'll build it up. And we did it. And it was a lot of fun. The fans loved it. And that pretty much was the catalyst that I had this idea where I'm like, yo, I should just do my own. It was supposed to be just a one-off. It was just supposed to be Stan's goofy show of, Stan's Intergender Bonanza, Stan Stylez Intergender Bonanza, was original name. What a mouthful, right? And I was like, let's just do some fun stuff, have a fun night. And it just got traction. Like, names were hitting me up left and right, like big indie names, and I was like shocked. I was like, I'm like, this is something cool, and did that show, and it was very special because it felt like I had, like, I don't have any kids, but it was like my firstborn was born that night, and people just were going crazy. How you just said, it was so empowering, it was awesome, it was something different, it was something unique. All the wrestlers that wrestled for me, they loved it. They kept telling me, gotta do more, and even Faye's like, you gotta do more, and I'm like, man, do I have something here? And I did another one in West Virginia, and I moved it to H2O, Matt Tremont School at the time, and this will be the 25th show coming up this Saturday. Look at that, 25 shows.
That is awesome.
It's still going strong.
So it's interesting that the whole thing kind of had its genesis with you and Raina. Raina and Eric have both been previous guests on here as well.
Oh, wow. And, I was going to say, you should get Eric on here because I like the
Eric. Those I love both of them to death. They are good people, good folks. But Speed Round.
Okay.
Scott Hall.
Razor Ramon, one of my favorites.
Yep. What's your favorite Razor Ramon memory?
Man, his promos when he wrestled Shawn Michaels in those ladder matches, and just being in awe of the Razor's Edge. As a kid, I'm like, that was so cool. I want to do that to somebody.
Yeah. So, one of my recent guests actually had sort of a fun little challenge, and I've sort of incorporated that into my my repertoire of questions, just because I think it's kind of a fun little challenge, and that is, try to sum your wrestling persona up in 5 words.
I could do it in 2.
Okay.
Creamy entertainment.
I love it. Love it. So I'm guessing that you've been at least a fan of this stuff the majority of your life. Is that pretty accurate?
Since I was a kid.
What is your earliest wrestling related memory?
Like when I first saw it?
Yeah. What is your earliest memory involving wrestling? I
would watch WCW Superstar. Oh no, it was Worldwide and WWF Superstars as a kid, and sometimes my sister would watch with me too. And I just remember Shawn Michaels doing the Heartbreak Hotel on this heart bed, and he had these clip-on earrings that said Shawn and Michaels, and I was like, why does he have earrings like that have his name on it? Like, he don't know his name? And it just got, I'm like, I want to be like this guy. I'm like, this guy's awesome. Like, he's funny. I want to be like him. He's like charismatic. And I was like, I want to be like, and I literally went to my mom, like, yo, Mom, I'm going to be a wrestler when I grow up. And she was like, sure, Stanley, whatever. I'm like, no, I'm gonna build myself up like all these guys, and I'm gonna wrestle one day. You're gonna see that. And she was like, whatever. And I was like, nope, I'm gonna do it.
And you stuck to your guns.
Stuck to it.
That's cool. So, what does your family think about all of this? About the fact that you've actually pursued this and you're actually having success with it? How do they feel about it?
My mom never saw me wrestle. She always is so nervous. My dad gets more nervous too now, and he's got older. But he came to see me wrestle. And my sister and my brother-in-law, and they loved it. They thought I was, my sister's like, oh, he's such a Leo, because I'm very introverted. But when I'm out there, she said, like, your Leo side comes out like so much. It's almost like a different person. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. But yeah, my mom, I always call my mom my heel mother, because I can be a really good heel in wrestling, but my mom will always out heel me. Just the stuff she'll say, just to like, she knows how to like, not being just the way she does it. It's just like, my mom's a really good Italian cook, and she'll be like, oh, come over, I have all these. I can make pasta and meatballs for you. I'm just like, oh yeah, let's go. And then you go there, and it's like, where's the smell of the gravy? Like, where's the bread oh, I'm just gonna make some sandwiches. I'm like, oh, you poke my eye, low blow me, let's roll me up, tights, everything. You just did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she does to me.
Absolutely. Well, that's what moms do.
That's what they do. Yeah, that's
they
what she
do what
does.
they have to do to get you over there.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly.
So, away from wrestling, what are some of your other hobbies and interests?
Oh man. So I really just love the gym. I love working out. Like that, I'm just a gym rat. Like I love being in shape. These days it keeps me sane. Because you have to be insane to do what we do. And I do like anime a lot. I don't watch it. I'm weird with anime. I'll start watching it and then I'll kind of stop for a couple months and I'll go back to it. So I'm not a crazy hardcore like anime person. But yeah, working out. Man, social media when you're a professional wrestler is a job in itself. Like, so I'm always on social media. I have a love-hate relationship with it. And then I'm just chilling. I watch like a lot of YouTube. I'm a YouTube junkie too. It could be from anything. I'll watch YouTube. I'm a big foodie too. I'll eat really healthy, but I live for my cheat meals. So I'm always like trying to like find new restaurants, different places to eat.
Gotcha. Speaking of anime and all that, I know that you've had some matches and some dealings with Erica Demia, and
Yeah.
she is really on a tear right now.
Yeah.
Her career is really blossoming. I'm thrilled for her.
Yeah, she's doing great. She's so young too. She has she has the world in her hands, and she's only gonna get better and better. When she gets more experience, more reps, and she's very hungry and she's very hardworking. She always tells me she really wants to do her best, like all the time, which is great. And she wants to wrestle opponents better than her, so she should learn. She's like a sponge. She wants to learn. And she takes her role in wrestling seriously when she's either a hero or she does her little heel whiny anime character gimmick I saw her do.
Gotcha. So, outside of wrestling, what person inspires you the most and why?
Man, that's a great question. Outside of wrestling, I, I'll be honest. I really draw influence from my favorite singer, Poppy. Like she's just so awesome and she's so unique. And like when I see her, I saw her. I went to 3 of her concerts. This tour she just did recently. And I don't know, she just inspires me every time I see her to create and pretty much like just don't give no fucks. Just go and just do what you want to do, Stan, and look what you can accomplish. And yeah, that I really draw inspiration. That's a great question. That I would say, yeah, she really is. Poppy really draws a lot of inspiration. I draw a lot of inspiration from her.
Absolutely, she is extremely talented, and
Yeah.
I feel like even at this point, she is still somewhat underrated.
Yeah, she's getting more and more like that's why I was telling my friends like, why would you go see her 3 times? Like, why I always see her 3 more times? It's my wife. Like, she's gorgeous, she's talented, she's the most unique, most versatile singer like out there in my opinion, and she's only getting better. And it's funny because friends will be like, oh, I didn't know Poppy was this good. I'm like, yo. MFers, like I've been telling you this since I discovered her in 2019, and she's wrestling, like she's in WWE. They play her songs, like she was on NXT multiple times. Like it's just amazing. And yeah, it's the only, I feel like she's blown up so much that sky's the limit. Just not just for her, well, mostly for her, but a lot of just female metal vocalists now in general are really taking over the scene. It's amazing. It's nostalgic to me, and I love it.
Oh yeah, her and Tatiana from Ginger.
Yes.
Wow. I mean,
Spirit Box, Courtney, Baby Metal, like
yeah.
they're all really, and even other singers, like not just metal. Like I don't consider Poppy really a metal. Like people know she's metal. Oh my gosh, no, Poppy's Poppy. She's everything. But there's a lot of other artists that I checked out. Like I started getting into more pop stuff, like hyper pop, which was crazy because I always was a crazy metalhead. So she made me look into different like avenues of of music, and that's what I started to do now with wrestling. What if I do something totally different? Like, why do we have to be like everybody? I always say you have to stand out.
Yeah.
How are we going to do something different where people are going to be like, I've never seen that. Like, what if, because there's been so much stuff done. I'm like, why can't I do like take an idea and put my own spin on it, like CWO, and people are like, oh my god.
You got to color outside the lines.
Yeah, 100%.
So, so your hometown is Philadelphia. What is your favorite thing about Philly?
Good old Philly. Two things. The food. Number one's the food. We're like the sandwich capital in the United States. And we can't beat us with sandwiches. Not just cheesesteaks. We have hoagies and roast pork, all that stuff. There's a really good sandwich place this walking distance from my house, Italian sandwich place. And also, I will say the fans, you gotta love or hate the fucking Philly fans. They are just something else. Not just in this anything like music, everything. They're just like Cody Rhodes said that Philly was his favorite city to wrestle because of the fans. I'm like, he's right. It's just nuts.
Absolutely. Speed round. Raven.
Love the Flock.
Yeah. Yep. You know, I was talking to one of my guests recently, and I love Raven's promos because he was similar to Jake Roberts in that he would rarely raise his voice. He would just project quiet menace by just calmly telling you what he was fixing to do to you. And to me, that's more effective than a guy ranting and raving with the veins popping out of his head.
The old school screaming. Yeah, I love that too. I love that too. But Ray, he definitely had Jake the Snake. I believe he really was inspired by Jake. Well, he did the DDT, the Raven effect. But he's very smart. I love learning and just list. He has a lot of different seminars. You can even find them, I think, online now though. But I try to tell people, especially like young people new to the business coming in, I'm like, yo, watch some Raven shoot interviews. You'll learn a lot. Like psychology, you're gonna learn so much. You're like, oh really? And I'm like, yeah. Because I always tell the young kids, I'm like, it's not all about these flashy moves. They're cool and all, but you got to learn a lot. There's a lot of other elements, a lot of other engines you can learn.
Absolutely. So, they say that the best wrestling persona is usually yourself turned up to 11. So tell us about in-ring Stan Stylez and kind of compare and contrast him with everyday you.
It's very true. When I first started, Stan Stylez played a character. I played a perverted gimmick, and my friends would tease me and say, Stan Stylez is like a Quagmire on steroids. Like, that's pretty much what Stan Stylez was. But what you just said, I learned to pretty much just amp myself, and I've helped other people do this, to turn it up to 11, 12, or 20, or 100. Like, that is the most you'll be the most comfortable. You'll feel the most joy, and you'll feel like the most emotion when you're just yourself and you just amplify it. And that's what I've done when I'm out there now. And it's the matches are better. Your facial expressions, your facial are important. And pretty much I'd say this, like my gimmicks, like the shake weight, the cream. I became the shake weight. I became the cream, and my pants. Like I'm the master of pants now. Like that is who I am.
Gotcha.
But outside the ring, oh man, I'm probably the biggest. Like, I'm just so chill. I've always I have a very young mind. I'm young at heart. Just easy going. Like nothing really bothers me too much. And I'm just very, very chill. I want to have fun, but I like my own space, my alone time, and just be myself and just be my close knit of friends and talk about. We like to bust on each other. I bust on Mark Angel all the time. I'll bust on Erica. I'll rib Erica all the time, and just it's all good fun though. But yeah, that's pretty much who I am.
Gotcha. So tell us about your very first match. Going back into the Wayback Machine 15 years ago. Tell us about your first match, and then tell us about your favorite match that you've been a part of.
So my first match, I don't think. Nah, I'm pretty sure no one wrestles. It was a tag match, and no one else wrestles anymore from this match. It was me and my friend Pat. He went by Pat McIntosh or McIntosh, one of those. He was a very, very unique, very talented, very athletic. He could do like what stuff like Loki could do. Like that, he was feeling Loki.
Wow.
And yeah, he stopped training and didn't pursue professional wrestling, and not I think he only did it for a couple months, but it was me and I can't remember who my tag partner was, but it was me and somebody versus Pat and somebody, and I remember I wasn't nervous at all. I'm nervous now when I wrestle, doing all these matches, all these years, all these matches I've had. And I was not nervous. I couldn't wait to go out there. I'm like, whatever, we got this. And probably looking back, it's like, oh God, but everyone liked it. I don't know if I can go back. If I went back now, I'd be like, oh my God, but like now I still have nerves. I still get nervous. And I've read and heard that, if you still are nervous, it's good. You never lost your passion yet. Like if you're not nervous, that means you lost your passion. Maybe it's true. Maybe everyone's different, but yeah, I still get nervous to this day.
Gotcha. So I know everybody has them, but what is your biggest in-ring pet peeve?
My God. Let me rewind. I forgot to answer your question about my favorite match.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
I have I can't pick one. I really loved my match this year with Gypsy Mac. That was a lot of fun. I loved my matches. My first match with Erica was really good at Cremania. That was like, I like that match so much because people were like, oh, Effie's going to be there. Marcus, Sonny Kiss, all these big names. But they all were talking about me and Erica's match at the end of the show. They were like, that's the match. I really was like, oh, wow. Like, that stole the show. Or that was my favorite match. I can't think. My match with Sexy Eddie. My match with Ava Everett, because it has so many views on YouTube. Now, pet peeve. There's so many. I have so many pet peeves. I will say the first one that comes in my head is promoters watching this. If you are watching this, please hire good refs. I cannot stand a bad ref or a poorly or just not trained ref. Like, you can have the greatest match planned and be doing the greatest match, and a ref can fuck it up just like that because he just doesn't know what he's doing, or he can kill it so fast. So I always say refs a very important job, but number one is definitely not having a good ref. Have a good ref on the show, and probably second is hygiene. If you smell, like, please shower, please use this. Smell. People make fun of me. They're like, oh, that's probably when you want to wrestle the girls because they smell good. I'm like, yeah, motherfuckers, maybe it is because you guys are dirty assholes.
Yeah, but at the very least, wash your gear.
Yes, wash your gear. I wash my gear every show. After every show, I don't care how tired I am. I don't care how many hours I drove. You wash your gear. I put that the Woolite. I wash it. I hang it up. I put the Febreze on it. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, several years ago, for a number of years, I trained in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and there was always this one guy that wouldn't wash his gi, and it was just, it was foul.
So bad, dude. Like, it's like, why? Yeah. Like, you're so dirt. Like, I don't know. There's so many crazy people in the world, especially in wrestling. Another pet peeve is just ego. Like, if people just take this stuff way too seriously, it's like, we're on a floating rock in space in our underwear doing a scripted fight for entertainment. Like relax, buddy. Like, come on.
Yep.
That's another one.
So, if you could only be one, would you rather be great in the ring or great on the mic?
Great on the mic, because I feel that I don't feel I'm that great in the ring. I'm average. People get mad when I say that. They're like, no, you're not. I'm like, nah, I'm average. Like, I feel if you have the mic skills, you have charisma. And to me, I've doing this so many years that charisma just trumps everything. If you have charisma, you can Because if I'm good on the mic, I can be a manager, I can be a personality, I can do more than just I can be, the owner of a company, or I can ring announcer, or I can be on commentary. There's other jobs I can do. If you just have great wrestling skills, that's awesome. But I really feel that if you have charisma and you can engage with the audience and let them feel you, that's it. Like, that's all you need. You can do a couple fun moves here and there, but if you're over, it doesn't matter.
Right. And mic skills equals career longevity.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
So what has been your most unusual encounter with a fan?
Oh man, every day is an unusual encounter. Social media, they ask me for just buy my gear, or somebody said they want to lick cream off my toes. Like, it's just always something. Like, and I trade stories with the girls because the girls get it. And they're like, "Oh my God, you're worse than us." And I'm like, "See, you always say the guys have it easy. We don't have it easy." But yeah, in person, I remember one show of Connecticut. It was a couple years ago. No, yeah, I think it was last year. Connecticut. Connecticut is just, ooh. Some random girl came up to me and she was like, "I can't wait to see your nipples." And I'm like, "What?" Like, it was bizarre, so bizarre. The whole thing was so bizarre. The whole place I was at was bizarre.
So it sounds like you've done both over the years, but do you have a personal preference between working heel or babyface?
Nope. I'll do either or, because it's always going to be entertaining no matter what role I am. A lot of people will say heel. They always say this. They say, "Oh, heel's fun." And I'm like, is it? Because I have so much fun as a babyface, just as much fun as I have a babyface as a heel too. Like, it's both are great. And I've learned doing this for so many years, you really have to play both roles. You really, and I a lot of young people coming in don't want to hear that. I'm like, no, master both, because it's almost like you're getting casted for a role in a movie. Every booking is like a movie. If they want a baby face, you can be like, boom, I can be a baby face. Here's my baby face. Oh, you're booked. If you, I don't know how to be a baby face. All right, well, we'll talk another time. They'll put somebody out. Now you just lost, where maybe you can go somewhere else and get, that's fine, but you want to be versatile. You want to have range. You want to show that you can do everything. And that's a telemarketer all day. Like, I just unplug that all day. So bad.
So in terms of your in-ring work and your promos, who would you say are some of your influences?
I take influence from a lot. I love Rick Rude. I love Paul Orndorff. These are heels. I love old school Jerry Lawler, chicken shit heel. Honestly, but nowadays I've learned to. This is another thing green wrestlers, young wrestlers can hear, is try to adapt or try to take inspiration not just from wrestlers, just people in pop culture, TV, everything. Like take movie actors, singers. Like, and just adapt that into your character and see what works and what doesn't work. And don't be scared to experiment, because we're all going to, I've had the stupidest ideas and a lot of them got over, and a lot of them like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have freaking did that. But hey, it's fun. Just have fun. Be creative.
Absolutely. Speed round. Josh Alexander.
Josh Alexander. Why am I not picturing Josh Alexander in my head right now?
He was in TNA for a while. He just debuted in AEW. Wears the wrestling headgear. Very technical.
I have to check him out. But if he's, I love technical wrestling. I love technical wrestling. I haven't watched the AEW in a minute. I have not watched. I'll be honest. I haven't watched it in a minute.
Gotcha. So, do you have an all-time favorite match as a fan? A match that you can have watched it a million times and it just never gets old, and there's always some new little something you can pull from it?
Man, that's a good question. There's a lot. I really like Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. I think was that WrestleMania. I just liked it because I was always an Owen fan for some reason. And I love when Owen beat him, he like flipped them off. Like you can't really tell me from his brother. I don't know. I liked Bret, but I always voted for Shawn whenever he wrestled Shawn. I don't know. Even when he was wrestling Diesel, Kevin Nash, I'm like, let's go Diesel. I don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bret Hart's probably gonna watch this, not really, but he's gonna be like, "I'll put that punk in a sharpshooter."
So, in your opinion, who are the best male and female wrestler in the world right now?
Oh man. I'll be straight up. Marcus Mathers is the best I've ever been in the ring with male right now. Like, and he gets better and better. Like I've wrestled him many times, probably over a dozen times now. But he gets better every time. I tell him, you just get better and better. Like you're WWE ready. Like there's no point. Like you were, he just gets more crisper, better, sharpened, everything. Female, man, that is there's a lot of females right now. Let's see. I would say there's a bunch. Zeta Steel, I feel that she's getting better and better too. She's getting really good. I'm a sucker for Sue Young. My friend Sue Young, she's always been so nice and she's creative and she's awesome. Erica too, she's getting there. Again, young. Man, that's there's the girls. There's so many. Maggie Lee, she just got signed, I think, TNA. She's another one that's really, really good. Ella Envy, like I love Ella Envy. Like her character to me, oh my god, that's one of my dream opponents, right? If that's a question later on.
It is actually. It's actually my next question.
Yeah.
Present day or past, who would be some dream opponents for you? Who would you love to share the ring with?
Present day Ella Envy. I was also told me versus Santana Jackson would be good, and I was like, yes. And also me versus Luigi Primo would be crazy good because the pizza versus the cream. I was like, yes. So those are. Then there's a lot of opponents I've wrestled that already that I really wanted to. That's happened in the past. Man, that's a good question. I can't really think of anyone on top of my head. I never wrestled one-on. I wrestled Greg Excellence, but not one-on-one. That was a match that people were saying I should wrestle. Oh, if she still wrestled, she don't wrestle anymore. But me versus Awesome Kong, people said really funny. Like,
that would be fun, actually.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. I think we would. Oh, okay. Here we go. I just thought of another one. Alicia Fox. I always want to wrestle Alicia Fox.
Gotcha. So, what is your favorite move? What is something you just really enjoy doing? And on the flip side of that, is there a move that you won't do or you would at least rather not do? And that can be giving or receiving.
Move I wouldn't never do and not take. I don't like taking I've taken a pile driver before, but I don't like doing a pile. I don't like taking a pile. Anything like a spike bump, like no. Pile driver, I'm like, nah, like I don't want to do a pile driver. That always would be like, I don't like taking German suplexes for some reason easy because one rattled me one time and I'm just like, I'll take one, but I'm like, I'd rather not. Which is crazy because can't remember. Someone told me they'd rather take a German suplex than a body slam. I'm like, I'll take a body slam all day. Now, a move, I guess it's considered a move now, is probably my pants attack. Because that always, it came by accident and people just, recently, I did it last week in a match. And this guy, I can't remember his name. I'm bad with names. I'm sorry. He said that was the funniest thing he ever saw. He never saw anything like that. He was dying. He said, I had him dying. It was just so funny. I always say this, like, if you sell anything, you can get anything over. Like, if you just got to sell it. If you sell it, it's, you can be over. And just something so goofy as me throwing my pants and guys bumping off, or I'm just taking my pants and, like, hitting people with them. It just, I don't know, something about it. always gets it's I have to do it in every match because I don't want to wear all those pants. I'll be too hot. But yeah, that have to be the now people call it the legendary pants attack. I'm like, I don't know if it's legendary yet, but maybe one day.
Gotcha. As a fan, a move that always gives me the shivers, and you don't see it much these days. But back in the Attitude Era, it was like you would see them almost every match, and that's the Vertebreaker.
Yeah, that's yeah.
That moved. When I see somebody setting up for one, I just kind of cringe because it just looks like there are so many ways that move could go catastrophically wrong.
You got to really trust the guy giving it because you just got to tuck your chin and just hope he freaking lands, makes you land good. But that's very dangerous. Even the back, you don't see the back body drop much anymore. Like you said, the old days, you don't really see. A lot of times, we wrestling, you'll hit your feet if you hit the, but you don't. It's a very, if you look at it, you're throwing the guy up so high and he comes down, and they get right back up. Well, you just took a crazy bump. Would you really be, getting up so fast from a back body drop? There's a lot of psychology in wrestling has gotten a lot better over the years. I will say that.
It has.
Thank God.
And sort of circling back to something we were talking about just a little bit ago, being a Jake Roberts mark, I've hated over the years seeing the DDT get relegated to a mid-match setup move and not so much of a finisher anymore.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when Jake would do the DDT, you thought he murdered a man. I mean,
Yeah. No, it was over. You sold it. You really, psychology-wise, you're getting dropped in your face, your head. You're done. It's concussions city. I don't like it when it's a setup for something. It's like what?
I know. I know.
It's just the way wrestling has evolved, and you gotta evolve.
I understand why it is the way it is, but it's just like,
I like good DDT for a falsy. Because it can be a finish. And there is people who still use like a DDT or a version of a DDT as a finish, which is great. But yeah, there's a lot of other moves that been kind of buried, and it's like, come on, guys, like what else are we gonna do? That's more dangerous, and I just love those. Those are my favorite finishes. Finishes you can hit on anybody, anytime, any place. And the DDT, stunner, cutter, all those, just work.
Gotcha. So you've been doing this long enough that I'm sure this applies. So what hurts right now? Or maybe I should ask what doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm kind of a little sore my inner thigh for some reason. I don't know if it might be just from lifting. I might be a little sore there. I've been getting like that lately. I don't know. But man, my back's always tight. My traps are always tight, but it could be also from working out. But knock on wood, I've had a few injuries doing this, but I'm really safe and I'm smart. And I know my limits. A lot of guys and girls don't yet, and I really encourage them to really know your limits. And now that I'm older, I'm just more wise and smarter, where I tell youngsters, less of this, and more of this. Especially in the indies, you don't, and they, some listen, some don't, but the ones that do listen will be like, you're right, holy crap, like holy shit, like yeah, I've gotten, my matches are better, just the audience connects with me more. So yeah, I mean, I'm not too bad. My knees are good. Elbow was bothering me maybe months ago. I would say on my elbow, that's fine, I cleared up, but yeah, nothing too crazy.
Gotcha. Speed round. Kevin Owens or Kevin Steen?
Owens.
Yeah.
I know Steen, but I'm like, yeah, go. I love Owens, and I want him to come back. I hope he's not done. I want him back.
Same here. Same here.
He's got a lot.
I mean, that was really heartbreaking to hear about the neck.
Yeah, I
And
was
like
shocked.
you, I hope he has a good outcome with this, because with necks you really just never know.
Yeah,
It's completely situational, person to person, as to how you're going to recover.
and he's
So
a guy that just you can tell just breathes and just just lives professional wrestling all his life, and it's just sad. It's like no, he had a little. I almost feel like he was gonna have. I think I had a feel. I was thinking he would probably even go over on Orton in the original plan and have a big run or get at least one more run in him with a title. Like I really feel like he deserved it because he's the way he's been, his match with Zayn, that feud, and just everything like his cat, But hopefully we will see him back sooner rather than later.
yeah, yep, hopefully. So you touched on this a little bit, but I'm going to sort of have you expand on this, and that is, what is your take on the role that social media is playing as a promotional tool in wrestling, specifically indie wrestling?
It's extremely, extremely, I'll say it again, extremely important because 3 is the magic number in wrestling. You have to, it's like a job. And luckily, I really am like I'm not like a wizard at it. I'm more of a wizard whipped cream, but I got smart with it because you have to be a personality. You have to be on social media. You have to engage with your fans and tell them where you're at. Because if you don't, you're just gonna be lost in the shuffle. And especially with running the IGB, I'm always trying to plug. You got to put those butts in seats. That's what it's all about. And also you have to go out there and flyer and do all that too. But there's just so much other avenues now to promote your shows. Even TikTok. I started doing TikTok because you can put a ticket link on the TikTok now, and that's got traction. But yeah. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, you have to be active on social media. I try to be. I wish I was even more active. But like I said, it could be another job. And like going back, I remember when I started, maybe my first or second year in. I remember Drew Cordero from Beyond was like, "Get on Twitter, guys. It's going to be popular. It's going to be the big thing for wrestling." And he was right, and we were like, "What's this Twitter thing?" That's how far back I go.
Gotcha. So, knowing everything that you know at this point in your life, if
Mhm.
you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Oh my God, I would say, Stan, learn, take business in high school. Take business. Um, take sewing so I could do my own gear because a good gear maker is few and far. Well, I don't know. I love my gear maker, but if I could do it myself, I would do it myself because it probably cost me less money because it's expensive. And I would also take up graphic design because that's another tool that I would really, really learn to. I knew I could do that to do my own posters. I'm very much like, go getter, do it myself. So if I could do it myself, I would definitely do that.
Gotcha. And on the off chance that we have any young people that are thinking about a career in it, do you have any advice for any young people
Yes.
that might be looking to break into the business?
I always ask them this question, and it's kind of uh, explicit, but I always say you fucked up in the head because if you're not fucked up in the head, don't do it. And because you have to be fucked up in the head to do what we do. Every time we hit the mat, it's like being a car wreck, a car crash. Like you want to do that, like you have to. And it plays a toll on your mental game. Like you're on the road a lot. If you have multiple shows a weekend, like you're traveling 4 or 5 as many hours, you might not be getting much money at all, or no money at all, just to get those reps. Like it's a lot tougher than what people think. A lot tougher. And you have to be fucked up.
Mhm. So, do you have any pre-show traditions? Any things that you try to do consistently before you walk through the curtain?
Yeah, I try to. I have bands. I warm up my bands just to loosen up my shoulders. I'll pump up a little bit with the band. I got some good bands. Just to get a pump. I'll put baby oil on. Um, Other than that, really, if I feel I'll have an energy drink, but I never finish the energy drink. I'll drink half of it. Like I just don't drink the whole thing. And I would say that's pretty much it. And then I tell everyone to have fun and be safe. Whoever's in the match, me and the referee. And yeah, nothing. I stretch now. I used to not stretch. Last couple of years, I really start to stretch more because that's very important. But that's really it. Nothing too crazy.
Got you. So, have you always been a fan of whipped cream? And how did you get the idea of incorporating that into your gimmick?
Well, yeah, I think everyone should like whipped cream. There's people like, I don't like. How do you not like whipped cream? But unless you're lactose intolerant. But there's the non-dairy version and coconut.
Yeah.
One. Yeah, it's great. But I think man, that was before the shake weight. And I literally was saying, I think it was, I wanted to try to be a babyface, and I figured if I was doing like a perverted like ladies man lover boy gimmick, if I put whipped cream in girls' mouths, they would like me. That's pretty much why I started doing it. Just a silly idea, and look what happened. Now look at this. Now this happened.
Yep. So something that we've done in all of these that's just been kind of fun is we've let the current guest pose a question for the next guest. And my previous guest was a wrestler out of Dubuque, Iowa, who actually trained at Black and Brave, Seth Rollins' school out there. And the question that he posed is just kind of random and kind of simple. But what is your favorite color?
Black.
And since this is part of a series, do you have a question that you would like to pose to the next guest? And it can be pretty much anything.
I got a good one. What's in your gear bag?
Oh, nice.
That could be fun.
How would you answer that?
Man, I have so much. My trunks, my knee pads, my shake weight. I bubble wrap my shake weight because I've not a couple of times. I used to not, and it'd break, and I was not cool. And it only happened a few times, like crap. So I bubble wrap him or her, whatever, and just keep her safe. I have my pants. I have sometimes I'll have my merch. Yeah, usually I have my merch in my bag. I got a huge bag. People always make fun of me. I have all those pants, so I have multiple pants, all my entrance gear. I could probably live it on my bag. I have another bag, like a shaving bag that has razor, shaving cream, contact solution because I wear contacts, deodorant. My bands are in my bag. What else? I have toothpaste, toothbrush, like you name it. Like I can live it out of my bag. Icy hot.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you referred to the shake weight as a she. Does she have a name?
Yeah, Mariah.
Mariah the shake weight.
Yeah,
okay.
I never really say that, but yeah, that's her name.
And how did I love the coloring outside the lines, so to speak. How did you end up coming up with the idea of incorporating a shake weight? Because that was the most random, ridiculous piece of fitness equipment I've ever seen.
Yeah, she likes to be shaken, not stirred.
Yeah.
I was with an ex-girlfriend. This was 2010. Yeah, 2010, 11, whenever the shake weight came out, when it was just getting that steam. And I literally I think it was in Target, and there was you can find them anywhere at these times. And I was like, oh, I should come to the ring with a shake. Or she's like, hey, you should come to the ring with a shake weight. And I was like, yeah, maybe I should. Maybe I should come to the ring with a shake weight. And I bought it, and I did it, and people were just like going crazy. And they're like, oh my God. And now I just incorporated it to be not so much a perverted thing or a funny thing. Like, oh, it's very funny, but I try to do different avenues with it where I can I can press the imaginary button and I make the whole place go in slow motion. So we have the wrestlers. I've done that, or I made it where I'm impervious to pain. If I shake it, I shake it off, whatever. I can shake it, make myself stronger, like just dumb shit like that. It just, or I can throw it to my opponent and they're like possessed by the shake weight and they keep shaking it and they can't
Nice.
stop. This fun stuff, yeah. Just fun things. Just give me different an edge on other people, because you're gonna see arm drag, you're gonna see drop kicks, but you're not gonna see that. You're not gonna see a pants attack. You're not gonna see a whip cream attack.
That's true. That's true. That's true. So, we're pretty much toward the end of things now. So, do you have any upcoming show? I know you do. Upcoming shows or anything at all that you'd like to give some hype to?
So this week and Saturday night, it's going to be on IWTV, live on IWTV in Braintree, Massachusetts at the Widowmaker Brewery. It's Focus Pro and IGB. It's my co-show with my sister company, Focus Pro. Cream Stampede. It's like Spring Stampede. We're calling it Cream Stampede. And it's going to be fun. It's an amazing venue. Good people, a lot of fun. Bar show. So it's like, standing room, have a drink and watch us entertain you, because it's so much fun, silly, wacky, unique, and just a fun atmosphere. I love promoting. Like back in the days, like I will say promoting is probably the hardest thing I ever did in my entire life, but it's just a rush, because when you write it out on paper and see come to fruition even better than what you wrote, it's just an indescribable feeling. But yeah, that's this Saturday. I'm taking on Selena Kate, who I knew for a while. We talked so much on social media, and I helped her out because she's still very young and she was injured. I helped her out, but we never wrestled. So she really wants to wrestle me a lot. So I'm gonna give her a best match she ever had, or at least her funnest match. I'll say that for the fans too. And then Sunday I'm part of a Royal Rumble, which I do love Royal Rumbles, for SPO. And that's I believe in Harris Casino, I believe in Philly. But yeah, check my social media. I have all that information. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff coming up in the summer. Summer's always busy.
Gotcha. Well, as far as what we've got coming up here on the Throwdown, this coming Monday, the 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I've got episode 111 with a female pro wrestler by the name of Zenith. Tuesday, the 29th at 7 p.m., I've got episode 112 with another female wrestler, the Island Girl, Tracy Taylor. And then Wednesday, the 30th, also at 7 p.m., I've got episode 113 with Matthew Ennis. So, I mean, those are the next three. I'm actually booked up now basically through the month of May. So there's a lot of stuff coming. And, for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this on replays and stuff on the web, thank you for that. If you like what we've got going here, do the old like, comment, share, and subscribe. And before we wrap this up, do you have any final words, Stan?
Just keep supporting indie wrestling.
Absolutely.
Buy merch from your favorite wrestler, because you don't know how much just $5, $10 means to us, because we always need gas money. We always need food money. So always support us in any way possible. Always support indie wrestling, no matter what way you can. Please come to the shows. I love when fans, because you can watch it on stream. That's great, but there's nothing like going to an indie show. Being there live. There's nothing else like it.
Absolutely. Well, Stan, thank you for your time. This has been a blast.
Hell yeah! Thank you so much.
And I definitely look forward to staying in touch and following your career and all that good stuff. And like I said, I'll be back on Monday. And in the meantime, everybody be good to each other, love each other, and let's keep this thing throwing down.